make one last film about narcissistic personality disorder. I made a video about it and I got some private messages about people's experiences with narcissists and sociopaths, and I want to make a follow-up to that. I also unblocked a particular person so I can send this message, because don't you ever contact me through my website again after everything that you did. Don't and try to use me again for supply. Don't you ever. This will show you. So in my last video, so I'm a filmmaker. In my last video, I talked about making a film. It's called The Scientist, and it's going to be about narcissistic personality disorder. And it's based on my experience with a narcissist. And that's who I was talking to a couple seconds ago. The narcissist. This man. Watch my prior video about it. I get into all the details of what narcissistic personality is and everything that he did. This man, after everything that he did, he messaged me through my professional film site. Okay, which was weird. I was like, okay. I started laughing. I was like, this is kind of pathetic. And it was after he got dumped by a girl that he went on, that he was dating. He got dumped. And this was all after I got rid of him, because first of all, he was using me for my money. That's what narcissists do. He was very ungrateful for it. He was very nasty to me. He was a real jerk, even though I was doing everything for him, always telling me I wasn't doing enough, and always telling me all the wrong things that I was doing. He was starting fights with me all the time, and then he would turn around and say that I started the fight. And then after I got rid of his ungrateful, broke ass, and then I went to LA and I started living my life, he purposely did the triangulation. This is another thing that narcissists do. They make up these imaginary relationships with exes, and I never knew this before. They make up these imaginary relationships with exes and pretend as though they're in love with exes to try to make you feel jealous and broken and bad and damaged. And they do this, they make up these imaginary relationships with exes because seeing you jealous and broken and ruined makes the narcissist feel powerful and wanted and significant, you know. So that's what he did. He always did that to me, and I believed it. Now I don't anymore. I know exactly who you are and what you are. I know what you were doing now. I know what you were doing now. I know what you're up to now. It's called triangulation. Okay, triangulation, that's what you did. He posted about being with this ex while I was with him, because there wasn't an actual relationship. He even to this day, he pretends as though we never dated. Narcissism. While I was with him, he was saying he wasn't with her, nothing was going on. This was while I was giving him money and driving him everywhere, while he was broke and on welfare. So he lied, because after I left him for being a douchebag to me, he posted that he was with her. And now I look back, he did it on purpose to try to get a reaction out of me, because when people give them attention, even if it's negative attention, they love it. It makes them feel powerful. They like being noticed and acknowledged. He loves the fact that I'm making these videos. But you won't love this though. There are people that messaged me because they have met a narcissist and or sociopath. I believe this man is both. They have no empathy for others. They don't care about others. They cannot feel remorse, and they only care about themselves. That's him. It's sociopathy. They experienced narcissism and sociopathy in their lives. They recognized my story, and they were like, I have a similar story. One girl even told me her story. It's business related though. She told me a business related psychopath story, and she asked me to make a, you know, to make help her make a film about it. So I'm even getting business by sharing my story. Um, some people that reached out to me, I told them exactly who this person is. I told them, you know, if they want to reach out to me and they want to talk about this, I'll tell you who it is. Some of them were surprised. That's narcissism for you. They wear a mask. That's what you're not gonna like. They love the negative attention when you're talking about them and stuff. It makes them so important, but they do not want to be outed because they get their supply from people. So if they know that they're going to be outed and they're not going to be able to get supply, that's when it turns scary for them. But what's done in the dark will always come to light. And I told him this. I told him you will get the consequences for the way that you've treated me over the years. Like, not just last year, but over the years, you will face the consequences. And narcissists think that they shouldn't face the consequences. They think they're perfect. They think they're victims and everybody else is the bad guy. Another thing that they do, and I'm going to have all of this in my film called The Scientist about narcissistic personality disorder. When you call them out on things that are true, like, you know, when they failed in a career, if they're broke and using you for money, if you say that they're miserable all the time, because they are miserable all the time, they will then brag about being happy. This person is always bragging about it. They're always saying, I'm so happy, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, I'm so happy. It looks so obviously like forced, like a show. This person is not happy. Narcissists forget, we've seen who you are every single time that I've been around this person. They've never been happy. They've never had their life together. They're always miserable. They're always angry. They're always anxious. They're always complaining. They were always bitter and resentful and jealous and by themselves. They always had problems. They were always so mad that they started fights with you because it made them feel good. Always triangulating you with exes, making up imaginary relationships to make you feel broken, because seeing you broken makes them feel like a man. You are not happy. You've never been happy in all the time that I've known you. And I've known this person for like 7, 8 years. In all that time, they've never been happy. You are not happy. When in the entire world, in the entire universe, have you been happy? You're not happy. You've never been happy. You're always miserable. Narcissists are always miserable. They're forever bored with themselves. And they get bored of people easily. And that's why they move on from relationships really fast. That's why they dump the women that they're with, because they get bored of that woman in the relationship. They need validation. They need negative attention and positive attention. So they'll create problems with you in your relationships purposely so that they can dump you because they're bored and they want to move on to something else. And that's what he did. And when he got dumped, he came back to me because he wanted to use me for supply. Not because he felt bad about, first of all, being very ungrateful for everything that I was doing, felt taking advantage of me, and then like being completely ungrateful, speaking to me nasty, being insensitive, starting fights with me, and then telling me that I was starting fights, talking about my family, bragging about the lies he told while I was with him and giving him money, telling everyone that he didn't date anybody when I was with him giving him money. Everything that he did, telling me to leave him alone when I was hurt. That's a sociopath. He doesn't care. You contact me not because you care about any of those things, not because you feel bad, but to get supply from me. You will never contact me again. Don't ever go on my film site and try to contact me. You will never get supply from me ever again. And that's what you have to do. You have to stand up and you have to tell these demons that, because that's what they are. And don't take them back. I will never in my entire life go back to this person. He's forever miserable. And it took me 3 times to realize it. He's always miserable. Always miserable. He's never happy. He's never happy. How, how do you expect me to believe that you're happy? You're never happy. You have narcissistic personality disorder. It keeps you from being happy. It keeps you from being at peace with yourself and with life. It keeps you from not getting bored of everybody and everything. Narcissists are forever bored of everybody and they're miserable. They're always miserable. They're not happy and they cannot experience love. You're not happy. I can see right through you. Those posts are so obviously overcompensating for how you really feel. You feel like nobody relates to you. You feel lonely. You're bored. You're miserable, and nothing satisfies you. You can't get family to get along with you because you're impossible to get along with. You can't get women to stay with you because you're a narcissist and all you care about is yourself. The relationships are always about you. You make them miserable because you're so damn miserable. Friends don't want to be around you because they're starting to see what kind of person you are. This is what a narcissist is, and then they get on social media and pretend to be something they're not, like happy. You're not happy. You've never been happy in all the 10 freaking years that I've known about you. You've never been happy. You're only pretending to be because you're hurt by the things that I said about you, which are true. And these are the things that I'm going to talk about in my film called The Scientist. Be careful of these narcissists. I will never in my entire life get back with this person. It took me 3 times to realize, shit, I'm always miserable with this person. I'm never happy. I'm a happy person. I love romance, affection, fun, going out, laughing, having a good time. This person is fucking miserable. Always fighting and complaining. Always broke. Always miserable about something. Always upset. Always upset. Never happy, never satisfied. Everything's about them. Me. No empathy. No empathy for the person they're with. I deserve somebody who, first of all, has their life together and knows, like, and second of all, has empathy, knows how to love somebody who's not a sociopath and treats people like shit. Don't ever go back to a narcissist. And stay tuned for my film. And watch out for those masks.